Good evening, everyone. This is Melissa Thomas of Florida National News coming to you with the evening news rundown for your Tuesday, September 22nd, 2020. And for those who are nerds, happy voter registration day. This is something going on all over the country, and we'll get into a little bit of that a little bit later in our newscast today. But as always, we want to extend an invitation to any business owners or entrepreneurs that are looking to advertise, any corporations looking to advertise. Just shoot us an email at ads@floridanationalnews.com to find out more so we can get started with you. In the meantime, guys, we always like to give you the latest COVID-19 reports globally here in the United States and in the state of Florida. So globally, the World Health Organization is reporting over 31.1 million confirmed cases and 962,000 plus confirmed deaths. Here in the United States, Johns Hopkins University is reporting over 6.86 million confirmed cases. And unfortunately, we have passed the 200,000 mark in terms of confirmed deaths. In the state of Florida, the Department of Health is reporting over 687,000 confirmed cases and over 13,500 confirmed deaths. Now, jumping into our world story, you guys heard us reporting about the UK and the possibility of even tighter restrictions. Well, they have decided to go ahead and tighten those restrictions. So in a more recent report, all pubs, bars, and restaurants, as well as other hospitality venues in England, will have a 10 p.m. closing time starting on Thursday this week to help curb the spread of COVID-19. That's 10 p.m. local time there, of course. The sector will also be restricted by law to table service only. Now, the measures are set out by Prime Minister Johnson in the House of Commons, and it comes as the UK's COVID-19 alert level has been moved to level 4, meaning transmission is high or rising exponentially. Now, Prime Minister Johnson also stressed the need for people to follow social distancing guidelines, wear their face coverings, and wash their hands regularly. He's also encouraging people to work from home if they can. Remember, yesterday in our report for you, the health minister was saying that likely it would be mandated for folks to work from home. He said he wouldn't rule it out. Now, Prime Minister Johnson is encouraging people to go ahead and work from home. It's not a mandate yet, but he's encouraging people to work from home already. Now, further restrictions are also announced in Scotland today, while restrictions on households mixing indoors will be extended to all of Northern Ireland. And in terms of households mixing, that is, of course, referring to people visiting each other from house to house. They're saying that's no longer happening right now, and it's being extended to all of Northern Ireland. Now, the governor's chief scientific advisor, Sir Patrick Vallance, has warned that there could be 50,000 new COVID-19 cases per day by mid-October without any further action, which he said could lead to more than 200 deaths per day by mid-November. Now, new measures will also come into force in Lancashire, Merseyside, parts of the Midlands, and West Yorkshire. Other areas of England, Scotland, and Wales are already under local lockdown with restrictions, including that ban on mixing households. Now, the Prime Minister's announcement on closing times this comes after a series of meetings over the weekend, including a meeting with the government's chief medical advisor, Professor Chris Whitty, Chancellor Rishi Sunak, and Health Secretary Matt Hancock. Now, jumping here to the United States, there's a bit of a snafu with the CDC. They had to abruptly pull a report that they had citing that the COVID-19 is being transmitted by ways of airborne. So they had to pull that, saying that was actually an error. So very interesting. Of course, previously, you guys are aware what we've been hearing, which is COVID-19 is spread through respiratory droplets and can be spread further, usually as far as 6 feet, when someone coughs or sneezes. But as of Friday, they had posted a little bit of a change. On Monday, they made sure to pull that information. But on Friday, the language had said that the COVID-19 virus is spread through respiratory droplets produced when an infected person coughs, sneezes, sings, talks, or breathes. And in the Friday update, the CDC had added new measures to protect oneself and others, including recommendations to use air purifiers to reduce airborne germs in indoor spaces, and clear guidance to, quote, stay at least 6 feet away from others whenever possible. They had also updated the page to change the language around asymptomatic transmission, shifting from saying that some people without symptoms may be able to spread the virus to saying, quote, people who are infected but do not show symptoms can spread the virus to others. So as of Monday, they went ahead and removed all of that, and it reflects the previous information. Now, Jason McDonald, who is a CDC spokesman, said in a response that was emailed to CNN, he said, quote, a draft version of proposed changes to these recommendations was posted in error to the agency's official website. The CDC is currently updating its recommendations regarding airborne transmission of the COVID-19 virus. So we'll continue to keep you guys updated on that because, of course, that is important and that relates to our health. Now, jumping here to the state of Florida, as is expected, there was an increase in school-aged children contracting the COVID-19 virus. Now, this is coming from data from the Florida Department of Health. Interestingly, there isn't yet a clear connection to whether or not the children are contracting the virus in the classrooms. But according to data released by the Florida Department of Health, there was a spike in the number of cases from August 17th to September 17th. Back in August, there were roughly 23,000 plus cases in ages 5 to 14. And a month later, as schools reopened, the number jumped to 28,000 cases, which is a 22% increase. Hospitalizations also increased 23% within the same period. Back on August 17th, 196 kids were hospitalized. A month later, the hospitalization number jumped to 241. Now, despite the data showing the growing number of cases in children, the state of Florida still isn't releasing virus data for schools and daycare centers. But as we've been reporting for you here at the Evening News Rundown, individual school districts have been reporting those cases on their individual dashboards in terms of school campuses. We still don't know much about the daycares and what the numbers are for COVID-19 virus spreading in the daycare centers. But we'll continue to keep you guys posted on that. Now, the governor, for his part, did say that he's open to revealing those numbers. So we'll continue to keep you updated. Stay tuned at FloridaNationalNews.com for those updates. In the meantime, we're going to take a quick commercial break and come right back. Stay tuned.
At Duke Energy, we deliver electricity and so much more, like free home energy assessments, rebates for energy-saving improvements, payment options to help you better manage your budget, and even bill credits for helping the community use less energy. So no matter what you're doing, we can help you make better energy choices every day. It's just another way we bring power to your life. How much can you save?
All right, guys, welcome back to the Evening News Rundown. In our next U.S. story, President Trump has said that he will name Ruth Bader Ginsburg's replacement by this coming Saturday. He made that promise to reporters very recently. And of course, he has called upon Senate Republicans. Of course, this is the majority. And he has narrowed his choice from the original 5 that we named for you guys yesterday down to just 2. Amy Coney Barrett of the Chicago-based 7th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals and Barbara Lagoa of the Atlanta-based 11th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals. He said, quote, I'd much rather have a vote before the election. We have plenty of time to do it. So right now, that is the big push. Senators Chuck Grassley and Cory Gardner have also signaled their support for moving forward quickly to have this pick named and confirmed before the election. Now, as it relates to Justice Ginsburg, who, of course, unfortunately passed away over the weekend, there will be a public viewing of her body outside the Supreme Court on Wednesday and Thursday and inside of the U.S. Capitol on Friday. Now, Ginsburg's death, the opening of that seat, gives Trump and his party an opportunity to establish a 6-3 conservative majority on a court. So very interesting. Ginsburg will have a private burial at Arlington Cemetery next week. So he's making sure to pick that replacement before her private burial. We'll continue to keep you updated. Now, jumping into our next Florida story. As I mentioned earlier, it is National Voter Registration Day today, and the Orlando Magic made sure to do their part. As you guys heard us report a couple of weeks ago, the Orlando Magic and the city of Orlando announced that Amway Center would be an early voting location. It was officially the 20th early voting location in Orange County. So today, Orange County Supervisor of Elections Bill Cowles, Orlando Magic player Mo Bamba, the tallest guy in that image there, and head coach Steve Clifford, as well as Orlando Mayor Buddy Dyer, were on hand to help residents register to vote, of course, in the 2020 election. And if you're someone who hasn't quite registered to vote yet, be sure to use this opportunity to go ahead and register to vote. And if you're not quite ready to do that yet, be sure to do your homework, because different states across the country have different expiration dates, different deadlines, I should say, for voter registration for the 2020 election. So just be sure you are all registered and squared away in time for early voting and vote by mail. Or if you're someone that wants to vote on the day or isn't available until election day to vote, then just make sure you are squared away on that day to be able to vote. On a slightly related note, the NFL is also doing its part to help with the push to register voters. The San Diego Chargers and the LA Rams have become the 13th and 14th clubs in the NFL to host polling activities at their respective venues. As you can see on the map, the Seattle Seahawks, two of our Florida teams, the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, as well as many other teams across the country, have decided to join in the Get Out the Vote effort to help folks register to vote. And the NFL has also launched a Latino vote initiative as well to make sure to help bolster the Hispanic vote as well. So congrats to the NFL and the Orlando Magic for doing their part, their civic duty, to help folks register to vote. In the meantime, we're going to take one more commercial break, and we'll come back with your business and sports stories. All right, stay tuned, guys.
There's more than one way to enjoy a Moreno Bakery custom cake. You could smash it, swipe it, love it, cut it, devour it. Moreno Bakery, for every slice of life.
All right, welcome back to the Evening News Rundown. In our business story, the Senate Republicans have introduced a $28 billion bill to aid the ailing airline industry. So a bit of an update for you guys on that. They introduced a bill on Monday that would give the industry $28 billion in additional aid as carriers get ready to cut more than 30,000 jobs as early as next month. And of course, airlines have struggled throughout the COVID-19 pandemic, racking up billions in losses, while a significant rebound in travel demand has not quite happened yet. Senator Roger Wicker of Mississippi, chairman of the Commerce Committee, and Maine Senator Susan Collins, who's the chairman of the Appropriations Subcommittee that oversees transportation, introduced the legislation 10 days before airlines can cut jobs under an aid package that protected workers through the end of this month. Congress approved $32 billion for passenger airlines, cargo carriers, and contractors back in March on the condition that a set level of air service is maintained during the pandemic and that neither jobs nor pay rates would be cut through September 30th. Now, this new bill would protect jobs until the end of next March. Now, airline CEOs and labor unions have been urging lawmakers and Trump administration officials to include additional aid in a new national COVID-19 relief bill, a provision that has won bipartisan support. But of course, as you guys have heard us report here at the Evening News Rundown, there's been a bit of a tug of war between the different houses of Congress in terms of agreeing on a national coronavirus relief bill. So we'll continue to keep you guys updated on that. As of right now, there are a lot of industry workers there and executives that are fretting about the lack of additional relief as air travel demand remains at less than a third of last year's levels. American Airlines expects to furlough or lay off some 19,000 employees starting next month, which is more than any other U.S. airline. United Airlines has said that it would have to cut about 16,000 jobs, but it has reached a preliminary deal to avoid furloughs of close to 3,000 pilots. So that's good for United Airlines pilots. Southwest Airlines expects to avoid job cuts this year, thanks to thousands of workers who accepted buyouts or accepted buyouts or leaves of absence. They decided to take one of those two options, so they didn't have to do any furloughs. Delta Airlines, for their part, also expects to largely avoid furloughs, with the exception of more than 1,900 pilots. Though on the plus side, there are talks with their union to avoid those cuts. So there's some ongoing talks in the works. Now, the funds for the additional aid, according to Senators Wicker and Collins in a statement, they said the funds for the additional aid would come from $11 billion in new aid and more than $17 billion in funding and loans that went unused in the last bill. So we'll continue to keep you guys updated on that. Now, jumping into your sports story, we're coming back to the state of Florida. You guys heard our awesome, exciting update that the Tampa Bay Lightning did make it to the Stanley Cup Finals, and they have now evened the score up in the finals. They're now at 1-1 with the Dallas Stars. They defeated the Dallas Stars on Monday with a 3-2 win. The Lightning didn't have a strong start at first, but they had passed up a power play opportunity at the start of the game, but they did go ahead and capitalize on that chance of redemption when the Stars made a mistake of their own, and they earned a breakthrough on a goal from Braden Point. And just like that, the swagger seemed to return to the Eastern Conference champions. So that was a bit of good news for that. Their next breakthrough move came with Kucherov, who shot a nice feed across the ice to Andre Palat for the second goal of the period. And, they also introduced a few changes on their blue line in game 2, inserting Jan Rutta and removing both Zach Bogosian and Luke Shen from the lineup. But just in a bit of a display in terms of the concentration of depth from their line in that particular position. In game 2, even though there were 3 that were left out in the lineup of game 2, but these guys have filled a significant role to this point. Luke Shen, Zach Bogosian, and Braden Coburn. The Lightning have focused on depth because with those 3 players alone, they have 2,367 regular season games between them, which is a lot of experience. So, congrats to the Lightning for that win and evening out the Stanley Cup Final Series. Our lovely Casey Hudson will be back with the FNN Sports Take. She'll be able to explain this stuff a whole lot better than I just did and be able to give you all the stats that you're looking for. All right, so we're going to take another quick commercial break, and we're going to wrap up with, yes, the Entertainment 4 for 4. That is back. It is Tuesday, and Jamesia Stoudemire is on hand to bring us the Entertainment 4 for 4. So stay tuned.
At Taco John's, you can expect one thing so good, as in quality ingredients used in tacos and burritos made just for you. Every single bite.
So good.
Expect nothing less at Taco John's.
All right, guys, once again, it is that lovely Tuesday, and we are ready for the Entertainment 4 for 4 with the lovely Jamesia Stoudemire out of Los Angeles. Jamesia, how's it going?
It is going amazing. It's actually back to sunshine in LA, so we're happy to see. It's still a little bad air quality, but visually it looks a lot better.
Good. Awesome.
I'm glad to be back, and I'll get us started with Entertainment 4 for 4. You guys, my name is Jamesia Stoudemire, and today is September 22nd. And getting started today with number 1, Hollywood Union Studios agree on rules to start production. So according to APLA, on Monday, pandemic protocols with major studios allow for a broad amount of TV and film productions to resume after a 6-month halt, of course, due to COVID-19 and the pandemic. So I have a quick list here of how many different people had to come together to make this happen. The Directors Guild of America, the International Alliance of Theater Stage Employees, the International Brotherhood of Team Masters, the Basic Craft Unions, the Screen Actors Guild of America, Federation of Television and Radio Artists jointly, and also motion picture and television producers. So just imagine how many minds had to come together to make this happen. And they finally did it, which I'm very happy for all those, especially those that work in entertainment and those of us that want to get our shows back on the air, because as you notice, there's no real new shows unless they just have them in the archives. So, and some of the things that are included in this amazing deal is they will have mandatory and comprehensive use of personal protective gear and testing of the cast and crew. They're going to do a zone system, which is going to limit the interaction of people between cast and talent, executive producers, and so forth. So, and doing that is probably will create certain things, and I didn't get too many of the details, and you can read this on AP. They will, so like, if the cast, of course, will be tested the most because they won't be wearing protective gear because, of course, they're on camera. So they will be tested the most out of everyone. And then trickling down to, let's say, if you are the cameras that are around the cast, then, of course, they would be tested almost as much as the cast would. And then going on to, like, let's say you create the stage, they probably will try to limit that interaction by having them do things a day before so they don't have to cross paths at all. So those are some of the different things that they're doing. They're also providing 10 days paid COVID leave. So if you either are tested positive for COVID or if you have to quarantine, they would give them 10 days paid leave and also be able to be reinstated in their job if that job does still exist. As you guys know, some productions for TV and film some last very long, up to 3 months or even longer, and some, may last only 3 weeks. So it just really depends on those situations. But those are just a couple of different things. So congratulations to all those organizations for coming together and that being able to happen. I'm definitely excited for everyone to get back to work. Topic number 2. Ellen DeGeneres makes an apology on air and pronounces that a new chapter is about to begin. According to New York AP, a video posted on Monday as from her show, which actually now the new season has begun, with the 18th season of the Ellen DeGeneres show, and she's now back in studio, as you guys can see here, and she's performing in front of a virtual audience, but she used the beginning of her open monologue to apologize, and just a couple of things quotes from her. I know I am in a position of privilege and power, and I realize that with that comes responsibility, and I take that responsibility for what happened at my show. And as you guys may have remembered, about 2 months back, we reported on it here, or I did, through Entertainment 444, but even prior, BuzzFeed had released an article about, I think it was about 30 some odd employees that had claims against the Ellen DeGeneres show. Now, not necessarily that these claims were all against Miss Ellen, but about some of the people and how the show is being run. And what has taken place over this summer is 3 of the show producers have exited the scene. And she's changing, also in her apology, she touches on, she is a person, like the person that you see on her show is truly her. However, she has other sides to her. She gets anxious, she gets frustrated, she gets excited, she gets sad. And so, when you are behind the scenes, you get access to some of those things as well. So, she definitely apologized and wants to start a new chapter. And the actual show has taken those precautions, as well as the investigation. Not that it was conclusive, but it did find that some of those things had taken place and that changes need to be made. And those changes have been made. So congratulations for Miss Ellen for owning up to those, to that, and for vowing to do better. So I guess we'll all keep a close eye on her, though. All right, going on to number 3. The Emmys. So as y'all know, this past weekend was the 2020 Emmy Awards. An amazing thing that happened was that African Americans were it was a historic night because we were the top winners. Some of the amazing winners that we saw was Regina King, Yahana Abdul-Marine II, Uzo Aduba, and Zendaya of Euphoria. So, and also it also touched base on Eddie Murphy, Maya Rudolph, and John Sepius Jones, who won the Guest Acting Emmys on Saturday as well. So overall, I'm just, I'm happy that we as a people got the opportunity to shine on that platform, and that and also for the people that did win, using that time to touch base on social injustice, especially with Regina King, talking about Breonna Taylor, and also Zendaya being one of the youngest women or African American women to win a leading actress Emmy Award. So congratulations to all those amazing people who took the award, and for all those that were nominated as well. But it was an amazing night, but also a funny part about that, if you were in the news, it still was a low-rated night for the show in general. So they broke records and they set records, but congratulations to all those people, and thanks for using your time to shine to touch on amazing things. All right, guys, our last topic for the day: the Fresh Prince Mansion is available on Airbnb. So I know the last time I was here, we talked about the reboot, but guess what now? The house. Go ahead, guys. Let's throw that picture up there. You guys wanted Fresh Prince to put the house up? or Mr. Will Smith, shall I say, to put the house up for rental. So now it is combining with Airbnb. Will be hosting the Brentwood Mansion. So just to let you guys know, the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air Mansion is not in Bel-Air. It's actually in Brentwood, but it is now available for you to rent for a low price of $30. Unfortunately, if you go to the link right now, they're all sold out. So it's still a sad thing that none of us can go unless you just happen to be an amazing person that knew about this before I reported it, which claps to you. But some cool things about the mansion: you'll be able to stay in the master wing of this fabulous Brentwood mansion from the iconic Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, which also kind of ties into HBO Max hosting the 30th anniversary reunion of the original cast, which will air around Thanksgiving time. They haven't told us an exact date, but inside the mansion you can eat Philly cheesesteaks for the night, and you can get virtual lessons from DJ Jazzy Jeff, who was in that picture with Will Smith. As you guys know, Jazz was Will Smith's best friend when he lived with his family, with Uncle Phil and Carlton and so forth. So that's an amazing thing, guys. I'm definitely excited. But again, thank you guys for watching the Entertainment 444 during the evening rundown on Florida National News. My name is Jamesia Stedemeyer, and you guys can follow me on Instagram at THE_ENT_MOGUL. Melissa, back over to you.
Awesome.
Yeah,
thank you so much for those updates. Appreciate you.
No problem. Always enjoy it.
Yes, take care.
See you guys next time.
All right. That does it for us here, guys, at the Evening News Rundown. And if you haven't yet, be sure to like, follow, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. You'll find us at Florida National News on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. And when you're on YouTube, be sure not only to click subscribe, but click the little bell icon to receive all the notifications for all of our shows. And as a quick reminder for anyone looking to advertise, you can shoot us an email at ads@floridanationalnews.com. But as always, guys, we continue to be careful, stay safe, check on any family members wherever they may be, make sure everyone is safe. All right? Take care, and we'll see you again tomorrow.